Fish and Chums!
Hi everybody, old Gare here with my sidekick Tuffy. How you doing, Tuffy? Hey, I tell you what, we're out on the famous Colorado River on the Arizona-California border, and we're out here on a holiday. Here it is, late August. A great place to be in August, the desert. Boy, I tell you what, we're out here on the Colorado River, and it's just a lovely spot. And Labor Day weekend, guys. Labor Day weekend back in the Ozarks looks real good. I've got some pretty good reports for you. In fact, we've got a report out of Stockton. Looks good for the upcoming weekend. Truman, Bull Shoals, all these lakes we're going to be talking about here in a minute. Anyway, Tuffy's doing good. Hey, in 1 month, my buddy is going to be 17 years old. How about that? Looking a little rough like me, but hey, he's caught a lot of fish in his day, that's for sure, buddy. I'll let you down. Go cool off, my friend. All right, since we're out here on the California-Arizona border, before we get with the Labor Day Ozark fishing reports, we're right here. California is just right across the way. And I want to share something with you before we get into the reports, because I think this is just amazing. San Diego, where we're at, about halfway between here and San Diego, there's a bunch of reservoirs, small reservoirs. And a few years ago, this particular gentleman, now look at this fish. This was actually a world record bass. Look at this fish. Monster, monster, monster bass. Well, this gentleman was fishing, caught this fish, but it come loose, then he rehooked it, but the problem was when he rehooked the fish, it got it in the side, and so he foul hooked it. So the California Fish and Game wouldn't give him a world record because of that. And so they took scale samples, and they actually put the fish right back where he caught it. The fish had been seen several times in the last few years, even been hooked twice, but the old rascal was too sharp and he got off the hook. And just the other day, he was found dead. This big old gal was found dead on the surface of the water. So we want to say tips off to that world record bass, because she was too tough for us mortal fishermen, that's for sure. All right, now let's get to the fishing reports. And I'll tell you what I'd recommend for the upcoming weekend, guys. Stockton looks really good. In fact, they've been picking up white bass. They've been picking up crappie, walleye. Look at this photo from our friends at Tandem Guide Service out of Stockton. He had this couple out the other day, just the other day now, went white bass fishing on the flats in the early morning hours, and they caught their limit of white bass. And then after the limit of white bass, they went back on the flats in the creek areas and so forth and found big schools of crappie and caught their limit of crappie too. So, wow, this couple had to be in fishing heaven. I just wanted to show you this photo, and a tip of the hat to Tandem Guide Service out of Stockton. Those boys can really catch the fish. All right, so when the white bass are on the surface, you can use a variety of baits. You can use road runners. You can use little George tail spinner baits. You can use jigs. Just a variety of baits. When they're surfacing on top, they'll hit just about anything that moves. So the white bass fishing in the early morning hours at Stockton. A lot of surfacing activity. Then and again in the evening, they've been coming up on top too, but it seems like morning's been a little bit better. Now, the crappie, what you want to do is use your good electronics and get back and start cruising the flats and the edge of the flats. Yeah, let's say 20 feet of water. Just kind of keep looking, and anytime you find brush and a combination of minnows in that area, you can get over there, well, I should say shad, you can get over there with minnows and catch some real nice crappie. There's been some limits caught out there this week, so Stockton looks good for the upcoming weekend for white bass and crappie. By the way, a few walleye have been caught at Stockton as well. Seems like the morning hours, the guys have been going out. Some people are having a hard time, other people are picking up a few fish. They're using these 3 different baits. Spoons. Don't overlook spoons, because these fish are mainly feeding on shad. These walleye are feeding on shad. Spoons have been good. A white spoon's been working. They've been picking up some fish on bottom bouncers with night crawlers, but it seems like shad or spoons have been working a little bit better. Some people have been trolling deep diving baits, getting down off these points and flats, picking up some walleye as well. Stockton looks good for the upcoming weekend. Maybe my top pick for the weekend this Labor Day. All right, let's go over at Truman, Stockton's neighbor. It's been a little tough at times. The crappie fishing slowed down somewhat, but some people are really starting to catch fish again. It's been a little slow, but they've been picking up some fish on the crappie, on the tree rows, as I mentioned the last couple of weeks on the program, the sunken tree rows, 12, 14, 18, 20 feet of water. Sometimes these fish are suspended up off the tree rows, off the bottom, maybe a couple feet. Minnow seems to be the best bet. Also, they're using the flats, doing the flats, and picking up fish along the brush piles, and they've been picking up some fish in the cedar trees as well. So experiment on your flats and your crappie fishing this weekend. Minnow seems to be the best bet once again. Okay, they've been picking up some fish. White bass in the morning hours at Truman. They've been coming up surfacing, so no matter where you're at, keep an eye out on top water. And they're still picking up some hybrids out there. They've been picking up hybrids, like I said, the last 3 weeks on the program. Hybrids, they've been picking up hybrids with perch, catching small perch, using them, shad as well on the hills, the hump top, and the humps and the points. And the bass fishing is still pretty good out at Truman. They've been using square bill crankbaits, as we talked about the last couple of weeks on the program, pitching those square bills out, bouncing them, hitting the tree, sunken tree limbs, picking up fish on this, and big plastic worms are working for bass out there as well. A little bit of top water fishing at Truman for bass this weekend as well. The walleye fishing's been spotty. I heard some fish were caught the other day in the Berry Bend area, and they've been picking up some fish in the KK Island. Experiment on the flats and the edge of the flats and the points. And so Truman may be good for the upcoming weekend. I've had some good reports once again of some crappie being caught down below the dam in the river area. So check this out. All right, let's go over to Bull Shoals. They've been picking up some fish at Bull Shoals. Guys in that KDOC area, had some friends out the other day, picked up a couple nice walleye by trolling deep diving baits off some of the points. And they've been picking up some fish on bottom bouncers with night crawlers and spoons. Don't overlook spoons for walleye this weekend at Bull Shoals. I've had a good report up in the Oakland area too. Check this out on spoons and bottom bouncers with night crawlers. Crappie on the shaded docks. A few crappie have been caught at Bull Shoals, and off the sunken brush piles on minnows. Try this in about 18 feet of water. You may want to check this out. Bass fishing at Bull Shoals for the weekend. They've been picking up some bass, kind of mixed a little bit. They're not quite, I understand, on that bottom, I should say, the drop shots as there were the last couple of weeks, but they are picking up some fish on drop shots. But it seems like spoons off the big points that drop off, and they've been picking up some fish in the morning hours on top water action, buzz baits, and junior spooks have been working out at Bull Shoals. All right, let's go over to Taneycomo right quick. When the running water's been warm the last few days, and so they have been picking up some fish when they're generating water. Hello. And when they're generating water, they've been picking up some trout by drift fishing power eggs. I tell you what, chartreuse is getting a little bit stronger right now, and they've been picking up some fish on pink power eggs and orange. White's good too. Cleo spoons have been working, and small jigs, and again, I'll sound like a broken record, but that pink Berkeley power trout power worm has been working good on a float about 5, 6, 7 foot up above the power worm. Some people have been trolling small crankbaits, picking up some fish as well. Okay, our last report is over. Next to last report is over at Table Rock. Gosh, we've had good reports out there this week. They've been picking up some fish on your drop shots, of course. That sounds like a broken record, down around 25, 35 feet of water. Just get on these long gravel points, watch your unit, your depth finders, try to find any type of shad activity and activity of fish near the bottom. Bottom bouncers are working. Spoons have been working out there. And football jigs is coming on stronger at Table Rock as well. And they've been picking up some crappie out at Table Rock in the brush piles, anywhere from 15 to 20, 22 feet of water. Minnows is the best ticket. Picking up some walleye up the White River arm. Spoons have been working a little bit better than night crawlers. Check this out. And some white bass have been surfacing at times out at Table Rock, but they're not staying up very long. And Boy, they got a lot of good boating activity here on the Colorado River today already, that's for sure. And closing out Table Rock, they have had some pretty good surfacing bass fishing in the morning and evening hours. Junior spooks have been working, and they've been picking up some fish on poppars. And so try your favorite topwater bait this weekend at Table Rock. In the morning hours, don't overlook the evening hours as well. One other quick report over at Norfolk near Mountain Home. They've been picking up some pretty good walleye this fish. The tough old boys going out there with spoons on the edge of the flats, anywhere from 25 to 35 feet of water. They've been spooning and also using bottom bouncers with night crawlers, but spoon seems to be a little bit better. And occasionally out there in deep water, the boys with those big ounce spoons have been going out and picking up an occasional striper out there by spooning in deep water, 50, 60, 70 feet of water. One other quick report on Norfolk. A lot of good white bass, just acres at times, have been coming up in the morning hours surfacing. So if you want to go out and look for some good white bass at Norfolk, get up extra early in the morning, get out there on the flats. You could have yourself a ball catching topwater white bass. Well, that's it from the Colorado River. My gosh, it's absolutely beautiful out here. I just hope you're going to be able to get out in the Ozarks, though, this weekend and enjoy some good fishing. The weather, you know, it sounds like it's going to be around 90 degrees for the next 2 or 3 days, and a little bit warm, but not all that bad. Morning fishing is going to be the key, I believe, morning and evening fishing. So we hope you get out and get bit this weekend. Have yourself a good Labor Day weekend. Be sure to like and share. We've been getting a lot of new subscribers. Be sure to tell your friends to subscribe to our show. And if you have any information you'd like to share with us, well, just go to our email. Email us at fishandchums@gmail.com. God bless you all. Have yourself a great Labor Day weekend. Go out and get bit.